The Coldest Night of the Year fundraiser reached its target in Niagara Falls, $50,000 for Project Share. Our next guest was a big factor. Big Matt's Popsicles team raised $2,716 for the cause, leading all teams with that donation for 2022. Matt Cuthbert, how did you do it?
Well, I sat outside for 12 hours in the cold, and it was an initiative we started last year, which just offered a lot of opportunity to learn. It offered a lot of opportunity to bring awareness and to raise funds. And Project Share is, close to my heart, just with the food service that they do in the community. And it's really good when you can support other organizations that are doing great things in the community. It's even better when you can continue a conversation and collaboration, and then it's even better when you can learn things to take away from it. So that's how we did it.
I know last year was really cold when you did the 12-hour challenge outside, minus 17, is that right?
Minus 17 last year. It was fairly cold. Part of what I did is, again, it's great to generate funds. It's great to put on the event, but it's what you can learn from it and then take away. So part of what we did was we took my temperature before I started and then after. I started at 99.1 degrees and I ended at actually 94.2 degrees. So I was in hypothermia after the 12 hours. But what we took away from it was my recovery in heat. So when I got home to my nice, beautiful 70-degree house, it was like somebody put me into a furnace just because I was so cold or in the cold for so long. So really what we took from it was people who are going into warming shelters or into overnight shelters. One of the things you'll notice when you're volunteering is the first thing they'll do is take off all their clothes because they're so used to being outside in the cold and then going to this environment where you and I find it normal, they find it overheating. So what we really tried to do with Brock University is take what I learned from this and kind of come up with some protocols for the shelters and for the warming centers within the area. And this year we did the same again, and hopefully we'll work with with the cities and the municipalities to try and bring awareness to not keeping it at 70 degrees but at a lower temperature. So
when you put it into perspective, I mean, what you just outlined for your body temperature is only a drop in 5 degrees, and we experience 5 degrees in the outside climate or even the indoor climate. 5-degree drop doesn't change us that much, but you're talking body temperature, and that's a huge difference.
It was a massive difference. The biggest difference too is during the 12 hours is I didn't eat and drink, and why we did that was so we could take the caloric burn as well. So I actually wore a monitor. I'm a big guy, so I burned 3,000 calories in that 12 hours and just trying to stay warm.
That's your body just doing what it tries to do to keep you warm.
Exactly, and that's why the food service and stuff like this is so important. Is these individuals who are experiencing it for a day before they get to a shelter, they're not a 300-pound power lifter, but still, even at 150, 160 pounds, they're going to be using 1,000 to 1,500 calories just to try and stay warm. And if you're trying to find places where you can eat within the community, I mean, you're going to have to maintain a lot of calories to get that up. And that's why Project Share and places within our community are so important to provide these meals and to provide these calories for these individuals who are outside just trying to stay warm using their own body.
We talked about 2021, 2022, a little bit warmer this year, correct?
It was much warmer. It was only minus 6 degrees, and then at its coldest, it was minus 9, which very different. My body temperature only changed 3 degrees, but still significant. Still to the point where the mental side starts to kick in, and when I say that is, if you and I were trying to have an interview during those last couple hours, it would have been hard for me. And why is the cold becomes irritating at that point. It's almost like somebody scratching a sunburn. You can't focus. You're just so focused on being cold, your fingers and your toes and their body being cold. So that's the neat part to take away from it as well is, as much as we want to help these individuals at that point in time, if we're trying to have a conversation with someone who's experiencing temperature loss, is they're going to be aggravated and already worked up because they're cold and they've lost this body temperature. So that was one of the other neat things that we took away from this year, as opposed to it not being so cold,
right,
but just the cold being aggravating in itself being outside.
Tell me about 11-year-old Lincoln McGuire and his commitment to the cause.
I've known Lincoln's mom and dad for a while, whose mom and dad have big hearts as well. And Lincoln, for his 10th birthday, this was a year ago, wanted to do something. So we came up with Lincoln's Care Kits. And he came up with 100 kits for kids who are experiencing poverty to go back to school. So pens, pencils, books, and stuff like this, which was fantastic. Helped him along with it, and we created a little friendship, which was great. I do the meal service for Thanksgiving and for Christmas, and he wanted to come out and help with that. So he came out, and mom, dad, and Lincoln and a couple of his brothers came out, and they helped prepare the meals, which is great. And then for his 11th birthday, he reached out and said, "Matt, I want to do something kind of really neat for my 11th birthday." And it just kind of coincided with me staying outside. So I offhandedly said, "Hey, why don't you come sit outside with me for a little while?" And he jumped on the idea. He was so excited about it, which was great. So he came out and he sat for 3 hours in the cold, which for an 11-year-old little guy, that's pretty awesome. But the neat part is he got to have a really good conversation with the chief of the Niagara Regional Police, and he got to have a really nice conversation with Wayne Gates as well.
Will you be back outside in 2023, and hopefully others can join you next year?
And that's the hope, is to do it and to continue to do it and to continue to grow it, to continue to grow the conversation. And I say this all the time, yes, it's amazing to generate donations for Project Share, but it's the community, it's that community togetherness, it's that conversation, it's the hopes of collaboration that really, really helps out. This year, the other sites that were running Coldest Night, I was able to have conversations with each one of them, and we were able to support each of ourselves. We were able to support the YWCA, we were able to support Open Arms, and we were able to support Start Me Up Niagara in St. Catharines. So it was really nice that we were able to do that collaboration that, hey, yeah, we're in different parts, but we're all here working together and we're all collaborating. And there's nothing better than that, because there is no I. It's always about we. And it's what we can do as a community together.
That's what it's all about. Matt Cuthbert, congratulations on being such a great person for this cause. Appreciate your time today.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate you.